Koshari really sounds like a dish that shouldn't work. It's chaotic, carb-heavy, and usually a bit of a project. But it's also one of Egypt's most beloved street foods. Economical, completely vegan, incredibly filling, and deeply comforting. So today I'm making a simplified version to see if we can keep all the soul of the dish without all of the hassle. Welcome back to Nomadic Treats, where we bring the world into your kitchen. Today we're heading to Egypt. Koshari needs a bit of planning. And in this case, that prep is not optional. It really matters for the success of the dish. I've got 1 cup of dried chickpeas, which were soaked overnight and then boiled until tender. If you want to save time, canned chickpeas are absolutely fine here. I also soaked 125 grams of brown lentils for at least 3 hours and 250 grams of rice separately for about 30 minutes. And as usual, all the ingredients are in the description box. I'm starting with 2 large onions. These needs to be sliced as evenly as possible, because the more even they are, the more evenly they will fry. Once they are sliced, pat them dry well to get rid of as much moisture as possible. Then toss them with 1 tablespoon of flour and 1 tablespoon of starch until they are nicely coated. Then, into a generous amount of oil they go, and I'm frying them until golden and crisp. These onions are not just topping, they are a huge part of what makes koshari feels like koshari. Once you're done, I'm transferring them to a kitchen paper and setting them aside for now. And don't throw away the oil, we're gonna be needing it for the next steps. Now into some of that reserved onion oil, I'm adding 75 grams of vermicelli. I'm frying it until golden. This gives the dish a deeper, nuttier flavor, and it's one of those little steps that really pays off. Now in go the drained lentils and drained rice, 125 grams of spaghetti broken into thirds, and 125 grams of small pasta. Yes, this dish really brings all the carbs together and somehow gets away with it. Now I'm pouring the hot water until it comes about half an inch above everything. Then I'm mixing that for about a minute, then adding 1 bouillon cube, 1 tablespoon of cumin, and some salt and pepper to taste. Bring that to a boil, then lower the heat, cover it, and let it simmer. One of the things I really love about koshari is that it doesn't rely on expensive ingredients to feel satisfying. We're talking about rice, lentils, pasta, onions, and chickpeas. Nothing fancy here, but together it turns into something much bigger than the sum of its parts. While the koshari cooks, I am making the tomato sauce in a separate pan. Again, a little of that reserved onion oil goes in first, followed by 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Then I'm adding 1 teaspoon of cumin and 1 teaspoon of coriander and letting them bloom for a few seconds. Next comes 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Then goes either 3 cups of tomato juice or 2 cups of passata, loosened with a little water if needed. I'm seasoning it with half teaspoon of sugar and salt to taste, then letting it simmer for a few minutes. You want a sauce that's rich and spoonable, not too watery but not too thick either. For the dukka, I'm mixing together 1 cup of hot water, half a cup of vinegar, and juice of 1 lemon, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of coriander, and salt to taste. It is simple, sharp, and absolutely essential here because it cuts through all the starch and richness and wakes up the whole dish up. Back to the koshari. Once everything is cooked through, I'm taking it off the heat and leaving the lid slightly open for a moment, so any excess moisture can escape. And this is an important moment. If it's too wet, it gets heavy, and if it's too dry, it loses that comforting feel. You want it right in the middle. By this point, the sauce is ready, the chickpeas are ready, the onions are crisp, and the dukka is mixed. And so now it's time to assemble. Koshari goes into the plate first, then the tomato sauce, then the chickpeas, and finally that mountain of crispy onions. And I'm finishing it with a generous drizzle of the dukka. Alright, let's see if this simplified version actually delivers. It's hearty, comforting, sharp, savory, and full of textures all at once. You've got the softness of the rice and lentils, the bite from the pasta, the richness of the tomato sauce, the creaminess from the chickpeas, and then the onions and dukkha come in and stop it from feeling heavy. And that's what makes koshari so clever. It's economical, filling, packed with plant proteins, completely vegan, and still feels like proper comfort foods. And this simplified version, honestly, I think it works beautifully. It keeps the spirit of the dish, but makes it feel much more realistic for a normal home kitchen. If you want something deeply satisfying without spending a fortune, this is a very strong one. If you enjoyed this, let me know what other dishes you would like to see from around the world. And thank you for watching.